Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us today during our Immigrants Rising High School Career Program Informational webinar. So if you are joining us today, you are probably interested in learning a little bit more about the program that we are launching this academic year. And again, this informational webinar is going to be for potential host sites who are interested in hosting one of our program participants. And this year, we're very excited to be launching our high school career program that will allow undocumented young people who are interested in pursuing a career in high school education and working and empowering the lives of other high school students. My name is Rocio Preciado, and I'm the Community Education and High School Engagement Manager at Immigrants Rising. I have been with Immigrants Rising since 2013 when I graduated UC Santa Cruz. Now, a little bit of background around myself. I graduated UC Santa Cruz back in 2013, and at the time, I was still undocumented. I was graduating with my degree in psychology and feminist studies, wondering what was going to be next with my career. I knew that I had experience working with undocumented college students and that I was able to provide a lot of my expertise and a lot of my personal experience and connection to a lot of those undocumented young students who were beginning their educational pathway. And I joined Immigrants Rising in order to provide information and resources to undocumented young people who were still thinking about what was going to be next after graduating high school. I did have the privilege of going through a career program that was established by one of my mentors from UC Santa Cruz, and he developed a program that was intended to provide all of us first-generation college students the opportunity to learn and explore different career pathways independent of our immigration status and being able to get that personal experience. And I am very excited and privileged to know that this is something that we are going to be launching this year within Immigrants Rising. And it's one of the commitments that Immigrants Rising has made sure to embed within their programming, making sure that folks independent of their immigration status are able to access careers independent of their immigration status. Now, just a couple of logistics. This webinar will be recorded. You will be able to access the recording by visiting immigrantsrising.org/high-school-partnerships. And if you do have some questions throughout the webinar, some comments, or something that you would like to have clarified, you are welcome to use the chat box to submit your questions. You can also use the Q&A. And if you're watching us via Facebook Live, you're also able to submit your comments via the comment section. And my colleague Alejandra, who is with me today, will be answering some of the questions, and will also be sharing some of the questions with me to make sure that we get to them. Now for this session, I am going to talk a little bit more about the program background in terms of how this program came about. I will share a little bit more about our program overview. I will go into the applicant criteria. I will then go over the application review and selection timeline, and we're gonna have an opportunity to do some Q&A. Now, why is this program important? Over the course of 3-4 years, we have began doing a lot of work with high school partners. Now, we began this initiative in order to learn a little bit more about what was happening on the ground when it came to the needs of undocumented high school students. Over the course of the years, we have seen that a lot of the different policies, resources, programming, and even the undocumented student population has been changing, and it has been shifting a lot. Now, it was an opportunity for us to establish high school partnerships, either with high schools or community-based organizations, in order to learn what were going to be some of the ways in which we could support the ongoing needs of undocumented high school students, given the changes in the political climate, given the changes in the undocumented student population, and also given the changes of different laws and policies. Now, one of the things that we do know currently is that there is an increased number of undocumented high school students that are graduating from high school every year. Nationwide, 98,000 students are graduating from high school. And some of those undocumented high school students, unfortunately, are graduating with no access to DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And most of those students, almost 1/3 of those students, live in California. Now, that is one of the reasons why this program is intended to support some of the population here in California. Now, if you are an organization that is outside of California, there are additional resources to support undocumented students at the national level. And so this program will be intended to support and partner with community-based organizations and high schools that are located in California. Now, a little bit of background. We have noticed and we have seen that only 21.6% of those college-aged undergraduate youth are attending college in California. And one of our missions is to make sure that all students are able to access a college education. And through this work, we want to make sure that we're supporting our partners and other organizations in increasing the high school students that are accessing college. Now, some of the things that have been impacting that number and have been limiting the number of high school students that are accessing higher education in this time. One is the increase in uncertainty about whether undocumented students are going to be able to thrive during and after college. Given the lack of uncertainty, many students are wondering whether college will be the right pathway for them, whether attending college is going to be a payoff to their hard work, and will they actually be able to use their college degrees. There's also an increase in anxiety or fear that is discouraging a lot of undocumented students from excelling academically and continuing into higher education. And so a lot of our work is to make sure that we are working closely with high school partners by connecting their high school students with mentors who will provide that ongoing support and that motivation to be able to alleviate some of that anxiety and some of that fear that oftentimes and many times discourage undocumented high school students from being able to excel academically. Another one is there is an ongoing increase in confusion amongst educators about what is available and what is possible for undocumented students. Like I mentioned earlier, there is an ongoing change in policy, there is an ongoing change in legislation, there is an ongoing change in the undocumented student population that is leading to a lot of confusion among educators about what is actually possible for undocumented students. And through this program, we want to make sure that we provide our Onsites an opportunity to be able to stay connected to Immigrants Rising so that we can offer their staff an opportunity to actually learn and obtain the right and accurate information about what is actually possible for undocumented students. And last but not least, across our high school system, we oftentimes and many times see a lack of role models that can actually connect to the experience of the high school students that are attending public high schools. And we want to ensure that high school students get connected to the role models that look like them, that can connect to their experience so that we can then continue to motivate high school students being able to pursue their college and career goals. And through this partnership and through this Onsite opportunity, we want to ensure that our high schools and college access organizations are able to learn about promising practices, get to implement projects, get to access role models so that they can enhance their support for undocumented students across their organization, across their high school, or across the programming that they've set in place. And I would like to highlight this image from 2018, which was part of a showcase that we had with a cohort of multiple high schools where we had a lot of high school young leaders speak on some of the projects and a lot of the leadership development that a lot of these young people are seeking within high school. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit about the program and what the program is about. So for this program for 2020, we are seeking 4 to 6 host sites across California that are interested in hosting an undocumented professional that is aspiring to work with high school students. Again, we really want to ensure that high school students are being connected to role models that look like them and they can have a shared experience. Now, a lot of these folks that are pursuing a career in high school education oftentimes do not have the professional development training, oftentimes do not get the opportunity to experience what it's like to actually work within a high school setting. And so this program will enable a lot of those undocumented young folks to be able to give back to their communities while also be able to obtain some of that hands-on experience. And so in order for that to happen, we are looking for host sites that are open and willing to provide undocumented professionals with the hands-on experience, with the training and the mentorship needed in order for them to bolster their professional careers. And again, one of the things that we are passionate about is making sure that high school students are accessing the right information, but are also getting the information and the motivation for folks that actually look like them. And through this program, it is a collaborative effort between Immigrants Rising and our host sites. So Immigrants Rising will be providing, through the partnership, we'll be providing career training to our program participants. Program participants will be getting the professional development needed to be able to thrive at each of those host sites. They will also be receiving mentorship, not only from the host site, but also will be receiving mentorship from Immigrants Rising staff. There will be opportunities for them to build community and network, not just within Immigrants Rising, but they'll also get the opportunity to network within the host sites. And they'll have the opportunity to educate and empower the high school community of their choice. Now you might be wondering, what will the host site be responsible and what are some of the things that will be entailed? So we are looking for host sites that are able to attend a mentor orientation that is going to be delivered by Immigrants Rising on Friday, October 16th. This will be an opportunity to be able to dive deeply into what the roles and responsibilities will be like in terms of mentoring our program participants, as well as being connected and get to know our program participants. The other time commitment would be, and responsibility will be to complete a mid-year and year-end 360 assessment of assigned program participants' areas of growth and development and achievements. Now, we are committed to the growth of our program participants, and feedback and identifying areas of growth and identifying areas of strength on our program participants will be essential so that us as Immigrants Rising, as an organization, we're able to provide a quality training and quality guidance and mentorship to our program participants so that they're able to thrive, not just within the whole site, but be able to thrive within their careers after the completion of their participation in the program. Be available to participate in an end of the year high school educator showcase. We want to make sure that there is the learning that is shared out with the community. Now, if after this program, there are some of the things that you are able to learn, that you're able to implement, that is either innovative or that is something that you would like to share with the broader community, there will be an opportunity for our host sites to be able to be part of Immigrants Rising Network and share some of those learning lessons, being able to share some of those highlights, and being able to share with the broader community what are some of the things that you all were able to achieve during this program, and by having one of our program participants within your organization or your school. And last but not least, be available to attend a year-end celebration to acknowledge our participants' accomplishments, and this will be sometime around June of 2021. What are the benefits to the host site? This is one of the most exciting things that I've been able to see over the course of the 4 years of us having partnerships. Now, one of the greatest things, and I'm actually gonna start from bottom to top, one of the most amazing things that we've been able to see through this program has been how much motivation and how inspiring it's been to actually have a program participant that can connect to so many students. And not just having a program participant that can connect to undocumented students, but can actually connect to students of color and be able to provide that motivation. One of the big things that we've been able to see through this program, through our program participants, and one of the things that has made a huge difference in the way in which a lot of our host sites have actually gone about implementing their programming and being able to have an impact in the lives of many of their students. One of the other areas is you will have the opportunity to increase your staff's capacity and your organization's capacity to support high school students and meet their ongoing programmatic goals. Our program participants are committed to being able to support a lot of the host sites and their ongoing programmatic goals, as well as supporting with any of the project or program implementations that you might have that are probably either in development or you're considering in developing in this program year. You will also have the opportunity to expand your expertise, either yours or your staff's expertise in working with undocumented students. And it has been a huge ripple effect that has taken place through a lot of this host site and partnership work that we've been able to do by placing some of our program participants, because we've been able to see a number of educators that have been interested in continuing to learn how they can support undocumented students by being able to have someone who can advocate and can speak up to some of the ongoing needs of students that oftentimes don't feel comfortable speaking about or sharing directly. And so I'd like to highlight this picture from one of our partnerships that we had last year. Last year, one of our partnerships with Hayward High School, we had a program participant, and one of their projects was to launch their very first stream club. And this is just an image of the very first ever meeting that took place at Hayward High School, which had a turnout that many educators did not expect was going to take place. Some of the other benefits that come with our program participants is the on-site support. Now, this is some of the on-site support that will be available both from Immigrants Rising as well as the program participant, and may include answering inquiries and providing information to educators, students, and parents over the course of the program, being able to serve as a resource and thought partner to address any specific needs of students or parents on the specific target population that you're working with, and also being able to serve as a face, voice, and example for young people. Now, to give you a quick overview of our program participants, I think it'll be one of the things that I'd like to share is that they're, for the course of many years, they've been amazing. During this year, Immigrants Rising does go through an application. We do launch an application for program participants to apply. We do have program participants who are interested in the program go through an interview process. And we then identify program participants. This year, we are going to be bringing in 4 to 6 program participants across California. All of our program participants will have a direct connection to the undocumented experience and are going to be, and are committed to working with high school students, as well as program participants who are interested in one or more of the following careers. And that includes teaching, college and career counseling, being a high school administrator. Maybe they're interested in a career in being a high school principal, working with special education, or working in student outreach and student engagement. Now, I just want to give you all small preview of some of the things that have stood out from some of the applications and some of the programs who will be joining us this year. So some of the things folks have shared in terms of their assignment and working with high school students includes being excited to develop and advise a whole site in their projects and help address the needs of their students. Others share that they're excited to help high school students make informed education and career choices, and that would be a really rewarding experience for them. Others have shared that they want to make sure youth dream big and that they don't let their status hinder their dreams, but that rather that gives them the greatest strength. Others shared that their goal is to become a math teacher, inspire students to pursue a career in STEM. And so this is just a short preview of some of the folks that are interested in working with the whole sites across California. Now, before I go into the applicant criteria, I would like to give my colleague Alejandra a chance to just share whether there are any questions that have come in so far. And then the one thing that I would like to mention is that this is completely free to our host sites. Our host sites do not need to pay anything to have a program participant, and a program participant does receive a $9,000 stipend by the end of the year, along with training to be able to participate and support our host sites. So Alejandra, are there any questions that have come in so far?
Yeah, so one question is like, great concept. This is Lucero from Escuela Popular. Please advise how to sign up for the orientation on October 16th. I am assuming it would be soon and time. So how do folks sign up for that?
Great, thank you. So that is a really great question. So for the orientation, so people who get to be selected to be part of our host site will be invited to be part of the orientation. So you will be receiving a private email from me with the Zoom link and the time to be able to participate to the host site orientation.
Great, thank you, Rocio. That's the only question we have at this moment, but definitely want to encourage folks to keep entering questions, and we can answer them later on. Turn it back to you, Rocio.
Thank you, Alejandra. Now the application criteria. So our application is available online, and in order to apply for our program is you need to be a high school or a college access organization that is committed to serving high school students. Now, overall, if you're working and offering direct service or striving to support the success of high school students in California, this is a program that you may want to consider. Like I mentioned, be located in California or offering services in California. Also be willing to supervise and mentor a program participant for 15 hours a week. The other is being able to provide remote opportunities or a workspace for program participants as needed. Now, we also understand that given COVID-19, we do want to keep into consideration the way in which your school or your organization is going about safety measures. So we do have the opportunity to be able to work with you either by having the program participant be 100% remotely or a combination of both depending on your organization and your safety measures. And last but not least, be committed to hosting a fellow for 8 months. So this is from October 2020 to May 2021, and this might be sometime around late October, mid-October to late May. Who can submit an application? So applications may be submitted by a high school or an organization personnel with the approval of high school principals or organization directors. So let's say if you are a teacher and you're interested in having someone who can offer support to your class, of high school students, whether that's in math and art, English or language arts, ESL, you're welcome to submit an application. The one thing is we do ask that if you're submitting an application, that there is approval from your principal. Again, if you are a college access organization and you have a program that you would like to offer an opportunity for one of our program participants to support in the capacity or the implementation of some of those projects, we do ask that the organization director or whoever your supervisor is approves the application. In terms of the application review and the selection process timeline. So applications are due this Friday, September 25th. We will be doing phone screenings with the top candidates the week of October 5th. And we are going to be having a mentor orientation on October 16th. Now, we have already launched our application for our program participants. We will be having the onboarding of our program participants by October 9th. So there will be an opportunity for those who do get selected and accept to be part of our whole site and be a whole site, an opportunity to get to meet and connect with our program participants during the week of October 19th. So I would now like to open it up to some questions. Alejandra, to see if there are any questions that have come in from folks.
Yes, we have a couple of questions. So the first two are related to kind of schedule for the program participant. So what would their weekly schedule look like, and how would folks track their hours for the week?
That's a really great question. Yes, so in terms of the schedule, so when you go into the application, there is an opportunity for the whole site to be able to identify what is the preferred time based on the programming when they would like to work with one of our program participants. Now, we also ask our program participants to share their schedule. Now, this is going to be something that would be in collaboration with the program participants to make sure that both needs are being met. And we as Immigrants Rising, we're gonna make sure to do our best to make sure that there is a great match in ensuring that the schedule of the fellow also aligns with the specific needs of the whole site's programming schedule as well. It would also depend on when the direct supervisor or mentor might also be available. So it is something that can be, that is one of the things that will be also important to consider as well.
Great, thank you, Rocio. Related to that, it's like, are there expected projects or things to do throughout the week?
Yes, so in terms of that question, yes, so there is a combination of both. So one of them, it would be based on what are some of the goals of the whole site. So again, this can be something that the whole site and the program participant can work together to develop. This will be something where if the whole site has already specific goals, already a specific work plan where they see the program participant engaging in, that will be an opportunity. There is also an opportunity for the whole site if there is already a project that your whole site, your organization is thinking of or wanting to develop or wanting to enhance, an opportunity to have the program participant engage in some of that work. Or if it's something where you know that there is a need to support your high school student population, but there hasn't yet been something that has been developed. There will be an opportunity to work in collaboration with the program participant to be able to support some of those, some of that programming. Now, by the end of the program, we are going to be supporting the program participant through mentorship, and as well as being able to offer the program participant resources for them to be able to provide the best support to the whole site, whether that is in implementing some of the ongoing programming or whether that is in developing a brand new project in collaboration with the whole site, or whether that is supporting in a project that's already been developed by the whole site.
Great, thank you, Rocio. We got a couple more questions. I guess folks are wondering if there's a list of host sites that have been active already.
So some of the host sites that we have been partnering with in previous years has consisted of specific high schools. So we have worked with different high schools across different districts. That includes San Francisco Unified School District, Oakland Unified School District, San Jose Unified School District, Richmond Unified School District, Pittsburgh. So we have worked with, I have to say, over 15 different high schools over the last 4 years that have worked with our program participants. And we also have some host sites that are returning and interested in returning again this year. So it does vary depending on every year. And so every year we do bring on a new group of host sites.
Great, thank you, Rocio. The other question is, does Immigrants Rising support with tech and Wi-Fi needs? So if, for example, if our program participant needs support in that area.
So our commitment is definitely the success of our program participants. We want to make sure that our program participants are maximizing and are getting the most out of this program. And so part of our commitment is also to make sure that our program participants have what it's needed to be able to thrive. Now, if there are opportunities for the host sites to support with any technology, there will be an opportunity. If that is not an option, us as Immigrants Rising, we will make sure that we're working closely with a program participant to make sure that technology does not become an issue or a barrier in them being able to support in their participation in the program.
Great. I answered this in the chat, but maybe you want to reiterate it. The question was, can folks still apply to be a host site?
Yes, you can still apply to be a host site. Our applications are due September 25th by 11:59 p.m. And I am going to go ahead and share the link that you can visit to submit your application. So you can visit immigrantsrising.org/HS partnerships.
All right. Yeah, actually, sorry, just to interrupt. Sorry, because on the website, and I grabbed the info from the website, it said the 28th, so I think I confused someone. So I just want to make sure, is it the 25th or the 28th?
It is Friday, the 25th.
All right. Apologies for confusing the folks on who are listening in, and we will update our website then to make sure that it's matching up.
Yes, thank you so much, Alejandra. And then again, if there are any questions, in terms of the application process or any of the questions, you can contact me at rocio@immigrantsrising.org, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
We got one more that snuck in. You have an opportunity, Rocio, for another one. How many participants does each host site get?
Each host site will get one program participant. And so that is currently what we have planned, so that each host site can have the opportunity to mentor one person, and that way our program participants get to get the most out of the benefits of one host site.
Those are all the questions. Thank you, Rocio.
Great. Thank you so much, Alejandra. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Again, the applications are due Friday, September 25th by 11:59 p.m. You can go ahead and visit immigrantsrising.org/HS partnerships. And if you have any questions, you can contact me, Rocio@immigrantsrising.org. And again, thank you all so much for joining us. And I look forward to seeing your applications, and have a great rest of your evening.